buildings. I was planning on coming up earlier, but people kept getting up before me. And I'm sort of glad they did because it reduced my list by a lot.
You gotta be quick.
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, first I want to talk about Marie. She talked about the Sun Bank. I did not know that building was over 200 years old. And you know what? We complained about Country House, I guess it was called, and that being torn down and the equipment, the things that were historic being destroyed in there. We need to make sure that whatever we decide to do with Sun House, that the history of that building is saved. Okay? I'm learning all about politics here. These two ordinances that are up for second reading. If you as a council do not pass them, and you remember all the things that everybody said in the last meetings about how they feel about these things, it won't pass. And you don't have to pass it. We're not gonna get sued because it hasn't passed by you yet. So you as a council have the authority to mix these two ordinances tonight without any, from my understanding, repercussions. And I would encourage you to do that. Okay, next thing. Okay, let's take that. Okay, I want to know on ordinance 30/2024. Why are we? It says an ordinance of the Township of Pemberton amending the Township's code to authorize service charges on behalf of the tax collector. Why are we going to add more to our township people who are already paying higher taxes? Okay, that's a question I would like answered. I would like to make a comment on new business number 13. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it is what I'm thinking. I actually would like you to approve that because recreation, wrestling thing, if it's bringing a wrestling group in or whatever, it's something for our men and our sons and grandsons to go to and enjoy, and that's something we lack in this town. Okay? Now, a couple other things. I have a neighbor. His name is John. I cannot pronounce his last name. Visconti, I think. And I'm here tonight because he couldn't be. He received 4 code violations. His house burnt down April 1st or somewhere in that area. He has put cameras up. He has put police tape around his property. He has complied to every one of his insurance company's requests, hey, we need you to do this and that. And he said, well, I need a place to live. I own my property, I own my house, but I'm a veteran, I'm widowed, and I'm raising my 14-year-old autistic son. I need a place to live. So his insurance company arranged for a trailer to be put on his property. He then hired friends and neighbors to go in and help him get the garbage out of the house, not construction material, but all the garbage, the pots and pans, the carpet, the things that, couldn't be, the clothing, those things that cannot be saved, okay? They put them in contractor bags and they put them at the curb. He got a violation for, oh my God, I'm so upset with all this. He got violation for exterior premises and all structures thereon shall be kept free of nuisances and any hazards to safety of occupants, pedestrians, and other persons utilizing the premises and free of insanitary conditions. His house burnt. He's in the process of fixing his house. Why? Why would we take, and this guy has the permit, his insurance company got them. Why would code enforcement come by and give him 4 violations? I have pictures online here. His house, the front of his house, this was Wednesday, the garbage that he put out in contractor bags. Everything was neatly stacked. By Friday, he was standing out there with 2 of his neighbors helping the garbage people put it in the trucks and paying them extra to take it away. Okay? Because they didn't want any problems. This man is being responsible for his thing. Okay? Here's his house without the garbage in front of it. See how he's got it boarded up and everything? Here, I can show you code enforcement's pictures of the trailer that is sitting on his property that he had a permit for. He got told that he needs to get a variance. After this was all done, according to his insurance company, he has to get a variance to put this on there. Guys, something is wrong with our township when we can't go after the county for their deplorable things, and we can't go after businesses for their stuff, but we pick on a veteran who is just trying to rebuild his life. There is something wrong with that. This code enforcement should have had a computer in front of him where it said, this guy has a permit, I'm not touching him. Instead, they added tons of stress to his life. Okay? I would like to know, sorry about that. I would like to know about the committees that are being formed. The one thing that I don't know is we have all these different committees, agriculture and stuff like that, but we don't know who is on them. I know, we gotta go. But we don't know who's on them. So I would like to know who's on the committees and stuff like that. I actually think it should be published. Okay?
I can tell you that council cannot interfere with code enforcement. We can't go out there and tell them what
Who's
to do.
in charge of code enforcement?
That's part of the administration.
So that's, so
I
who's
don't
that?
even know if administration can tell them, don't touch that house, you know, but go ahead, Mr. Horn.
Well, first of all, I wanted to respond to Ms. Adams' questions about the ordinance for the tax collector. Ms. Adams, we charge these fees, and we do it by a resolution every year during reorg. But the legislature passed an updated version of the NREM tax foreclosure law, which permits additional fees on institutional investors. So I think when institutional investors are asking township tax collector personnel to do more work, the township should rightly collect the fees to do that.
So what you're saying, the state can, or the federal?
Vicky.
I'm asking him to clarify so I understand. Why are you being rude? I am asking him for clarification of what you're saying. He's answering my question, I do not understand him. I want clarification.
So we could be here for another half hour, right?
We've been here
So
already.
we wait for you, guys.
I want clarification.
We wait for you.
So is that what you do to anybody? You just tell them, oh, you can't get clarification on, so I'm supposed to walk away from your man?
The rules usually are. you ask
Disrespectful.
questions And you get answers.
But
You don't go back and forth. But I understand, Mr. Hornicle, do you have anything to add?
I just wanted to add that on the other issue, if it's the property, which I suspect it is, we have asked the community development director to take over that file and to review it. That's all I will. To take over the file and review it.
Okay. That's the thing I have a problem with council and administration. You guys don't explain so people understand. You are not transparent in what you do.
That's right.
Thank you.
Great job, Vicky.
My name is Richard Brown. I live at Fuller Shore Circle in Country Lakes. Thank you all. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. I guess a couple of things. First, I'd like to start by saying, and I will say this, I'm only going to have one question, and I'll save it to the end. The first thing I want to note is that lived in the town for 30-some years or more, and I'm here because I love it and because it's in the pines, and it's in the protected pinelands. I don't know how many people recognize how much of our town is actually protected by organizations, including the state and private organizations that have bought and preserved lands, which give us all really a wonderful lifestyle. Additionally, a lot of the environmental regulations, like depth to seasonal high water table for septics, wetlands and wetlands buffers, have also further restricted the use of land in our town. But this is all for the better. I've heard it before that some of the former council folks had complained that, well, we're in the Pinelands area and there's nothing we can do. I would point out that there's many communities that are in the Pinelands, including some of our neighbors like Southampton and maybe Medford and other towns like this that seem to be doing very well being in the Pinelands. So my next thing gets into, as a member of the planning board, we've been faced with a lot of public opposition over projects, and the root of these things is that these areas have been declared as redevelopment areas. Now, I'm not gonna get into how they happened or why they happened, but I will point out that in the ordinance for the town, it calls for, or at least provides for, a redevelopment commission made up of citizens, council folks, to talk about redevelopment ideas and to kind of vet them and build public consensus before moving forward with these things. Unfortunately, the redevelopment areas that have happened in our town have occurred through fiat. There's been little or no public input, and when there is public input, it's kind of been shoo-shooed and pushed away. So I would ask that the council please consider trying to reestablish, or at least establish, a redevelopment area committee. This would, I think, go a long way towards trying to reduce some of the animosity that I know our planning board get, and I know you folks get when you're up here in front. The other thing I'd like to point out is I'm really happy to hear that there's going to be looking at the master plan. I want to point out that the master plan doesn't have to be remade from whole cloth. Pretty much, I would suggest what needs to be done is looked at existing zoning that we have in certain areas. In my view, some of this redevelopment areas have essentially made our zoning promiscuous, allowing pretty much anything folks want without a care about what the citizens want. So I would ask that when we're looking at the master plan, we focus on each of our zones. We hold public meetings that enable the public to come out and get mad and talk about things and then work towards a consensus for what folks would like to see in different zones. It's not like we're not going to remake the wheel here. Our commercial areas are pretty much our commercial areas. Our residential areas are pretty much our residential areas. So there's not going to be a need to redo everything, but I think there is a need to take a serious look at each of our zones and consider what we may want to do now. I mean, our existing master plan was done years ago, before there was concerns about climate change, because there were concerns about pollution, because there were concerns about water, because there were concerns about fire, all these different things. So I would just ask that we look at that and focus on that. And I don't think that it is a bad idea to have the public involved and have that catharsis happen and have people work towards consensus. And I think that's it for now. And here's my question. Are you ready? Can we get the water tower painted?
Thank you.
That's it. I don't know who would answer that one, but I know when they took down the antennas, I thought, oh geez, somebody's gonna get in there and paint it, and I believe we own it now. And first off, it's a moniker. When you come into town, you see our name up on the water tower, and you see all that black smudge stuff coming off the side. So I would ask that consideration be given to repainting our water tower, or at least cleaning it up. And that's it. Thank you for your time.
I suggested a couple of years ago, my idea was to paint it to look like a blueberry.
I like the blueberry idea. Birthplace of the blueberry. We could do that. Maybe we get a company, somebody else to do it for us. Thank you.
I just wanted to A, thank him for his comments, because I think they were correct, and B, indicate that we did put the water tank repainting out for bid, along with rehabbing that system. We are now evaluating which of those bids we can potentially award at a future meeting.
Isn't public input a part of the master plan review?
It is, and it's also part of all the redevelopment plans. They start here, they go to the planning board holds 2 hearings. They have a hearing when it's for the study, they have a second hearing for the actual plan, it comes back here for an ordinance. So there's at least a minimum of 3 hearings per redevelopment plan.
Mr. Doyle,
That wasn't for you, Perry.
Good evening, Mr. Dietrich.
That was in the last one.
Perry Doyle, 303 Birmingham Road. I want to start out, I don't have so much questions, sir, as I do maybe some comments about some things that are happening or have happened. First, I want to address the police scanners that Val was talking about. Val, I retired 3 years ago, and I can tell you for 100% certainty, I would have loved, as one of the head traffic guys, to have one of them in my car. One of the biggest things we face in New Jersey is we are the big #1 across the country for insurance rates. We have a lot of uninsured drivers. We have a lot of unregistered drivers in this town. If I am unregistered, I'm involved in a motor vehicle accident with you. I don't know if any people know this or not, but your insurance company does reserve the right to refuse that claim because you are not operating your vehicle legally. So there have been a million times that I could line the police officers up that are still present on the road today, and it is their discretion to issue a summons if they stop you. If you happen to pull into Craig's Auto when the officer goes to stop you and you're unregistered, he's not obligated to write that summons. If you are parked on private property and you're off the roadway, and you have the consent of that owner where that vehicle's sitting, it can sit there. You can sit right there on your phone, renew your registration then. It's not so much something that's getting hammered about as it is, it's an insurance liability. That's honestly what it is. And that's the biggest issue we have in New Jersey is uninsured motor vehicles. If your vehicle's stolen off the farm, they could be cutting through Pemberton Township. You dial 911 right away. Before that gets on the radio to come across my radio to look for your vehicle, it's already been sent through central dispatch and your license plate's already been flagged. So if I'm not even looking for that green Ford Bronco and it drives past me, I get an alert right away, it's a stolen motor vehicle. And it didn't even get across the radio yet. So I just wanted to bring up those 2 points about the scanners. They actually are, we're long overdue in getting them. We needed them 5 years ago. Okay. Second of all, I couldn't help but notice that we have an empty seat tonight. And if I remember correctly from the last regular meeting, that seat was vacant that night also. And there were several items that didn't pass, didn't even come to vote because that seat was absent. And it was funny that the next council meeting, Mr. Gardner, I'm sorry he's not here tonight to hear this, but he made a comment because of the large crowd for the special meeting that it was probably orchestrated that there was such a large turnout. Well, I'm sorry to say, but Mrs. Reynolds back here had asked a question that never got answered. She asked, who called for the special meeting? Well, the night of the special meeting, Mr. Hornicle finally answered up that he was the one who called for the special meeting. So I'm going to say that tonight, I'm going to guess that if by chance there are some things on this agenda that don't get passed, we may either have another special meeting, or they may just go on to the next vote, because one of the biggest things that the public's been complaining about is a lot of the things are passing 3-2. Now, I know we have Liz tonight on the audio, but she's not present. And another thing I'd like to bring up as far as that goes, Ms. McCartney, are you able to hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
I can
perfect.
hear you, Mr. Perry, yeah.
Thank you. You had asked a question of Mr. Hornicle at the last meeting prior to making a very important vote on the Mount Holly sewer hookup. You had asked him about what were the ramifications if you guys didn't pass this. And he had advised you that the ramification was, well, basically it's a breach of contract, we're going to get sued. Well, that's not altogether the truth, okay? Because here's my question. What would happen if Mount Holly wasn't able to take us? The warehouses would still have to seek an alternate route. There's a lot of houses in our town that aren't available for septic or aren't available for public sewer, so they have to resort to septic. The alternative at that time, had we shot that Mount Holly hookup down, the Rockefellers or whoever they were, Mitsubishi, the warehouses would have to go to a septic application. That septic application could either be approved or denied by the DEP, which would free us, if it gets denied, from breach of contract because they couldn't pass the DEP specifications for acceptable sewer. So the information that you were provided on, I'm sorry to say, it wasn't 100% accurate. So in my opinion, I'm sorry, your vote was with misleading information.
I hear you, Mr. Perry.
Thank you, ma'am, I appreciate that. And finally, the last thing I'm going to say is, when Ms. Reynolds asked about who the screener was, Ms. Reynolds, I can only tell you that it's the same screener that we had when the first warehouse was built to push through the 5 other warehouses behind them. And it's the same screener who pushed that, even though the gentleman who owns the one in the front, the primary warehouse we now have in Pemberton, was arrested and charged federally with money laundering. And he was already in prison prior to that being passed to build the next 5 warehouses. So to answer your question, that's what kind of screening we're having done for developers that are coming into this town. Finally, Mr. Mayor, we used to have a very good relationship, sir, and you used to respect me deeply. At least I thought you did. There are 2 things that I feel that you need, and again, I'm just a resident, I'm a nobody, okay? You need to gain some points with your employees, desperately. Your employees do not have any faith in you. And you desperately need to gain back some of the faith of your residents. There is one way I can give you the foundation to start, sir. You can tell me to go pound sand, or you can listen to my ears. Replace the man sitting on your left with somebody who's got some ties to this town. Have a good night.
Daniel,
want to clarify one thing that Mr. Doyle said that was absolutely incorrect. And that is Mr. Doyle neglected to inform Councilwoman McCartney that council had approved the Mount Holly MUA hookup at the June 4th meeting already. It's on the record.
We didn't have to second it though.
We don't have back and forth, it's Daniel's time, you can disagree. It's a public meeting, it's the meeting of the council.
Didn't miss you last week.
Are you president council or is teacher?
Education Board President. I need to set the record straight on some comments that were made here tonight. Okay. Pemberton Township Schools take great pride to create a safe and happy learning environment. And I am happy to say that we have zero debt against our schools. The residents should be proud of that. I guarantee you, we do not have 4 custodians for 7 schools. We do not have 4 custodians for 7 schools. We have well over 1,000 employees. We are the 2nd or 3rd largest employer to the residents of this township. Staff shortage. Yes, we have a big problem. So if anybody knows anybody who has a degree in education, you want to be a bus driver, you want to be a custodian, aide, a classroom aide, anything, cook, we need you. We've lost $16.5 million from our budget. And our superintendent has taken great pride in not eliminating any jobs last year. We did that by saving through nutrition, and we also did that by having interims in position. Okay? As far as, listen, our custodians, our staff, everybody is working very hard right now, and I guarantee you, you're not having 4 custodians clean all these schools. So I just want to say thank you for all your hard work. I know what it's like, and you guys are getting beat up here by these residents, and I've been there. I am a 12-year board member, and I am actually up for re-election this year, and yes, I am going over it again. So I just need to say thank you for all your hard work, guys.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Cherie Larry. 3490, well, whatever. The house with all the dirt in front of it. That nobody brought me no water. That's kind of rude. Okay. Anyway, hello. It is 8 o'clock. I just want to say, I wasn't coming to the meeting because I had to cut my yard. It's 2 hours in. I thought I was gonna miss the meeting. Y'all have to set some limits. I mean, I don't know, but 8 o'clock and y'all haven't even started the meeting. Like, not to be. Oh, I know. Don't worry. I don't need no hand claps. I just want to say this, y'all. We just keep yelling and screaming. Thank you so much, because my water line, I had some issues. It's funny when things go bad, we all jumping on it. Like I told you before, I'm a teacher. You have to educate yourself. Everybody here, somebody is dropping enough tidbits to get everybody mad. And being leadership, being a business administrator, being a mayor, being on the council, y'all take a lot of heat. Everybody's not gonna like you and everybody's not gonna understand. So my whole thing is, y'all got to educate yourself, which y'all are doing, but everybody's mad. I own one house. I'm a citizen, but I only own one house. Everybody wanna talk about my town. What does your ideal town look like? Because it was a time when some ideal towns didn't include people who look like me. Okay, so let me get very clear. You have to start thinking forward. I don't know about these warehouses. I have not researched. I haven't read no thing, but everybody's an expert. Look at Wrightstown. Look at Lumberton. Look at this. Development is happening. There is a housing shortage. Everybody's complaining, and I see everybody pointing fingers. On Facebook, I also want to talk about that park being closed. I wasn't here. My son works at that park. Do you know Great Adventures was closed too? Are we gonna cut Great Adventures out? Oh, we don't have nothing to do here. Stop. Like, y'all always look at it. I can't even tell if y'all Democrats or Republicans, because y'all jump on everybody, family around here. Like, show some loyalty. It was a storm coming through. Weather results. I don't care. Well, it turned out to be a nice day. It's New Jersey. It turns out to be a nice day any day. You know what I mean? We don't know. But my child is out there on that field, and if it's a thunderstorm, you can die. Basic science. And I'm sorry, the adults are so juvenile in this town sometimes. The way they talk to each other, the way you attack a person is disgusting. Attack the problem, not the person. Like I said, I know a lot of people just from being around. I have not been in anybody's house. But showing respect and going debate is something I'm trying to teach kids. I'm a JAG teacher. I teach students. Stop attacking the person. This is why I'm independent. I can sit here and critique somebody and say thank you at the same time. Y'all gotta realize that, like, we are all going to pay. And then people come up here rambling. Oh, well, I'm rambling off right now, but come on now. Like, I'm rambling off too, but I'm looking like, did you do any research? Who gave you that half fact? Come on, we have to realize, look what's going on in Lumberton. And my whole thing is, we're gonna have to update our town. No, it will all have to be warehouses, but guess what? Where we gonna get jobs from? Some of these people I know have not even moved out the town. Don't all their jobs come from here? You know what I mean? So my whole thing is, how do we do this besides attacking your own mayor? Like, I'm an independent, keep saying that, but my whole thing is, I will not attack somebody because I need to show respect some type of way. No matter if I agree with Mayor Jack or not, I know how to speak to people. And that's one thing, that's how I get respect from people, and they give it to me. And this is what I'm trying to teach students. My whole thing is, I would not want to be a business administrator, but I am a business administrator by nature. You can't pay me to do that job, because that's the no man. Understand, guys, I'm not saying y'all all have passion, but what can we do to work together? And this is the same thing I tell you on the school board. This is the same thing I tell you on the school board. But look, it's 8 o'clock, y'all. That's why I brought me some coffee, because I know it's going to be a good show tonight. So I ain't mad at nobody. I'm still speaking to y'all, you know what I mean? But at the same time, stop attacking the person, attack the problem. And then come up with some, well, we want some say. A saying what? Because I don't see nobody here with about 10, 15 properties. Do you own a farm? Can you buy a farm? How's your business credit? You know what I mean? Because I know I'm trying to buy my second property right now, and it's a hard thing for me as a single mother. Stop attacking, like, yo, y'all gotta stop, because all you doing, this beautiful town, and I'm telling you, I moved here 11 years ago because it was diverse, because we had military, because I wanted my kids around your kids and your grandkids. I like this area. It's not too many towns that have this diversity. But right now, the way y'all are acting on Facebook, I want to cuss all of y'all out. Some of y'all, stop attacking people. Stop. Stop talking. Stop attacking people. Attack the problem. But what are you doing besides that? Because I take care of my kid. My kid. Some of y'all households, maybe y'all need to start being leaders there first. I'm not trying to be funny. Y'all want to come give all this advice. We can't even give our own kids advice. That's all. I mean, just stop it, because it's ugly on Facebook. It's ugly, and my whole thing is, you think we don't all want to be at the water carnival? You think I want we don't all want to be somewhere, but y'all gotta stop. The way y'all just doing it is y'all making our town ugly because of the way you are engaging another person. That's all. That's my time.
Go along. Thank you.
I don't get no hand clap. I'm sorry, but can y'all bring me some water? Y'all see me?
No, okay, we'll close our public council session, move on to resolutions. We take 5.
Council President, we have been here for 2 hours. Can we take 5?
We'll take 5. It's gotta be a quick 5 though.